John Mellencamp here. I have to ask a question that I know everybody has probably thought subconsciously on some level. Has John Mellencamp forever ruined his career and whatever his musical legacy is by those goddamn commercials that they insist on running during the football games? You know the song about America?
Right.
The song about this is our country?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like me? Do you almost want to stand up and, dare I say it, burn the flag?
You know,
It takes the American out of me because, first off, the commercials themselves.
You're a big John Cougar fan.
Yeah, I used to be. The commercials themselves, it seems to me, God, there's a lot of copyright infringement. They have images of everything from Jerry Kramer from the Green Bay Packers, the man walking on the moon, to Martin Luther King, all of these events in our history, which are somehow being used to sell a car.
Right.
And then beyond that, this annoying song that they somehow thought would become a hit, but never really did.
Ain't That America? Is that the one?
Yeah, well, no, that's actually Pink Houses.
Right.
Ain't that America? Well, I feel like I want to burn the flag when I see the caveman commercials.
I love those.
No, I'm kidding, of course.
I love the new one, especially where they're standing out on the deck talking about, hey, there's one caveman. Have you seen the one where he says, don't think less of me because I have Geico?
Right. Yeah, they're at a cocktail party.
Yeah, right. And the caveman comes out and says something like, hey, I got great news. Lisa and I are getting back together. And they go, we're having a discussion. Really, really good caveman
and
spot.
the one where he's on the little escalator at the airport, and just with that wonderful look he gives. I'm not familiar with these John Cougar commercials.
My God. Are you kidding me? Now I'm going to give them a free commercial here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
what's it for?
For Chevy. This is our country.
Oh, this is our country.
From the East Coast.
So he wrote that for them?
Coast. Yes.
Oh.
And he's been at a lot of football games this year, whoring it out.
Right.
Well, they'll have him at halftime, you know. And now, as a tribute to America, singing his song, which will be repeated 18,000 times today in commercials, and bring back images of America's best and worst moments, all in the hopes that you, idiot consumer, will buy an automobile.
Made in America.
Here now is washed-up has-been. Let's hear it for total sellout, John Mellencamp.
I had no idea that this got your dander up this way.
It's a saturation of
Yes.
these commercials and the spots that they buy them at.
You know, maybe I have seen them. I've just been desensitized to them because they're run so much. This is our country.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I didn't make the connection. I
watch more football, and I guess that's mainly where they run the commercial. But it's like, Jesus Christ! It's like sometimes
you feel like Phil Collins should be doing that and not John Cougar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
or Barry
anybody.
Manilow.
Yes.
It's that type of
Or
artist.
Clay Aiken.
Clay
to make it a
Aiken.
little more contemporary.
One of those artists.
Anybody, but not John Mellencamp.
Well, John Mellencamp. When was the last year he was relevant?
Yeah.
I mean, he never achieved the level of stardom. It was right at the same time, right after Springsteen had become an icon, and they thought that Mellencamp was going to be the next thing.
That's the lore of John Mellencamp, though, is that he was never quite Bruce Springsteen. He had a bunch of good songs, and he never really petered out. He did okay.
Right.
He kept putting his records out, and you're like, oh, John Mellencamp, that's okay. Well, all of a sudden, here he is. How you doing, whore?
I will always like the one lyric, sucking on a chili dog outside the Tasty Freeze, and that's right where it ended for me with him. It was that's all it was.
About food.
I love it.
You'll never see Prince do that.
I love
Prince whored himself on American Idol, and I don't think you're going to see Prince really whore
He's
himself.
whoring himself on the Super Bowl, too.
But he
though.
whores himself in his own little way. He whores himself in a controlled way.
Mike, if how do I put this? If Prince had the opportunity, he would whore himself like John Mellencamp did, but really, you can't present Prince as like Americana. Look at him. I mean, look at him. At least
you could sell a different type of product with Prince.
What are you going to sell? Condoms or rubbers with Prince?
Yeah, anything with sex. I mean, my God, they could market. I mean, you don't think Prince is more marketable than John Cougar?
I agree, but I'm saying when you're going to go sell trucks,
right?
You don't want a little man, a C. Smith in his purple suit out there.
Of course not trucks, I'm saying. But for other products, you don't think that Prince would have just 10 times more opportunity than John Cougar to be
Mike,
exploited?
I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't disagree on that point. But about trucks specifically, where, you know,
you got to be Bob Seger, you got to be John Cougar.
The thought on Madison Avenue is, you know, you're going to pardon the pun, because we're talking about cavemen, you are making these commercials towards the cavemen that are sitting on their asses watching football.
Right.
Making this goddamn All-American song over and over again. And please, stop it. I mean, it's even more
Didn't
annoying.
John Cougar have a tail? What? Wasn't that story around like years ago where he had some birth defect where he had a tail?
Mike, the cheese stands alone there.
Now wait a minute. I know I'm not talking out of my butt here.
Yes,
I swear to God.
Yes, you
I
are.
swear to God, I heard
Talking
this.
out of your
Somebody will back
butt.
me up on this.
You just heard it.
There was some story
Yeah,
that he
right.
had a tail, or he had some
right.
sort of like birth defect where he had to be
Somebody Googled
separated. Like maybe he had a twin that had to be chopped off.
Somebody Googled John Mellencamp and a tail. John?
Somebody
I'm looking
help
right
me.
Now. I'll have something for you in a sec.
John Mellencamp didn't have a tail,
No,
Mike.
it might not have been a tail, but it was some sort of horrible birth defect that he had.
Oh, I remember. He was a hermaphrodite.
No, that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
All right, here's I don't want to stand by the tail 100%. I want to stand by major birth defect, like either a tail or some sort of twin.
No.
Some sort of Siamese twin.
Make your mind up.
There was something wrong with him.
Is he a tail boy or not?
He had some sort of major birth defect that almost killed him. That is the story I'm standing by.
Well,
He's mentally retarded.
is it that?
He had, I swear, and this I read. This was like a bio of him where he had some terrible issue when he was at birth that they had to operate.
It was his
on.
tail.
It might have been like a tail.
He said, Mommy, I have a tail.
It's like his spine grew too long. Some people have that.
Prehensile syndrome, yes.
Yeah, but
What's
hold
that?
on. That's not a tail. Hold on. John now has a Google. John.
Spina bifida.
Well, that's not a tail, Mike. Spina bifida is not having a tail, for God's sakes. I know what spina bifida is.
He had spina
Please.
bifida.
Get out. You might as well have diabetes.
It's spina bifida. Isn't your spine your tail, really, when you think
Get
about
out
it?
of here. He's got a tail. Please. Get out of here.
Was it just spina bifida? Is there anything else in there about
John,
a
was there
tail?
anything about a tail?
No, nothing about a tail.
Nothing
just
about a
spina
tail.
bifida.
Nothing at all about a
Corrected
tail.
by
Hey,
that
but it
advice.
was something. He had some malady, right? I was right about it. You can give me a little credit on that, or you can give me that look.
No. Do you ever have hangnail, too?
Oh, that's not. Spina bifida is horrible.
How about acid reflux?
Spina bifida, most kids don't survive that. That's a horrible thing to
Yes, but
survive
they
that.
do not grow tails, Mike.
No.
But it is the spine malformed,
Yes.
which
But-
could result in a tail.
A tail would come out of your ass region.
I
though.
told you I pulled off the tail thing
Wouldn't a
early
tail-
on. I said he
No,
had a birth
no,
defect.
No, you still went back to it. And wouldn't a tail really come out of your ass area, not necessarily out of your spine?
Yeah.
Just above it. Yeah.
Well, that's where your spine ends, is where your tail would
Your
be.
tailbone, which is just above the cleavage.
In a
there.
human being, the end of your spine is where the tail used to be.
Right.
When we had tails.
Hold on. I've seen movies with a guy who has a tail.
Sure.
There are people that have it. What's it called?
No. I'm talking about what was it? Was it? It's not something about Mary. It was one of the Farrelly Brothers movies. Was it Stuck on You? I'm not sure which one it is, but a guy has a tail.
Where she's fat.
Oh yeah, the fat Shallow Hal.
Had a
Shallow
tail?
Hal. George Costanza's in that movie. Jason Alexander.
Right.
And in the movie, he has a tail. He has a dog's tail. And when he gets aroused at the end of the movie, you can see his tail moving in the back of his pants. And this is kind of in the crack of his ass.
I will say that there is more to this than just spina bifida. There was something
He
I
have a tail.
think he almost died when he was a kid.
He was born covered in hair.
Shut up, Rob.
Somebody shut the door on his tail when he was a boy. Yeah.
12 million people around the world have tails.
But none of them are
According to
named John Mellencamp.
No, sadly, no.
And more importantly, what about that commercial?
Yeah.
Now, you want to sell a car, you get John Mellencamp to run over his tail and sing a song about that. Now I'm watching.
I wish I had that article in front of me.
I used to have a tail. Now you buy a truck. Here in America, Martin Luther King didn't have a tail. We walked on the moon, didn't have a tail. Buy a Chevy truck. Michael Mara says, I got a tail.
Lighten up, Francis.
A tail down at Tasty Freeze.
Sucking on a chili dog outside my tail.
Got my tail between my knees.
I got my tail between my knees.
Jesus. Don and Mike show. Hello.
Don and Mike show. Love you guys.
Thanks.
Hey, Andy Garcia actually was a conjoined twin, and if you go to Comcast.net and do on their news, they have a thing about a bunch of celebrities, someone who had web toes and such. So just thought I'd pass that along.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Hey, thanks.
Thank
Happened
you.
to have.
Hold on. hold on. Yeah, John called me with this today. Right. On this day in 1874, the first Siamese twins died at the age of 63.
Siamese twins.
Chang and Ang of Siam, now Thailand, spent their life joined at the breastbone.
Yeah.
No word of tails, though, Mike.
No word of John Mellencamp?
Here are a few fascinating facts, though, about Siamese-type twins. Myrtle Corbin, a woman from Texas, had a twin growing out of between her legs. She had 4 legs, 20 toes, and 2 vagines.
Wow.
3 of her kids were born from one of her vagines. 2 were born from the other one.
Wow. No waiting.
There was a guy named Edward Mordrake from Massachusetts, had a second face on the back of his head. He could laugh and cry, but could not eat or speak. And then there was Lalu, the Hindu. Lalu was a Hindu born in 74. He had a headless twin attached to his body at the neck. The twin had 2 arms and legs and functioning genitals. The headless twin could go number 1 and become aroused.
Wow.
You know what he said? He said,
Hey, you know something? No, what? I had a dream last night.
Wow.
Siamese twins in the news, but no tails, Mike. No tails. Hello,
Yeah,
Don
I
and
stand
Mike
by
show.
that story.
Hello. Let's flip a coin. Heads or tails? You want heads or tails?
Tails. I win.